Now we have a government that's spending a fortune opening up art centres all over the country, encouraging more and more and more and more and more and more people to paint in order to create enterprise, as if it's the only enterprise that's suitable, or that Aboriginal communities and Aboriginal people are going to take up. And there's a reason for that, of course. There's an absence of enterprise opportunities in a lot of places, and Aboriginal people have proven to be incredibly creative, and it's but still, art is not an employment strategy. Right?
No, but I think it's one of those things that whatever your social background and all that kind of stuff, and whatever your position is, it's like Colin was talking about some of the mental health service users that she's working with. There's this kind of I think sometimes when things are dressed up in the language of enterprise, and it is one of those kind of buzzy sort of ALP, sort of minority government words, isn't it? I think very often it's not really about that. It really is about almost a kind of an alibi for providing something which might be fulfilling emotionally and socially to people, wherever they are and wherever they're from and all the rest of it. So, that sense of engaging in creativity, of growing through creativity, of actually feeling whole through creativity, seems to me the really important thing. If I really, really thought that all of these so-called, kind of enterprise schemes were really there because it was all about making money ultimately, then I don't know what I'd do. Because I think the enterprise thing is really kind of a political alibi as much as anything else for actually providing places where wholeness might be attained. That's a again kind of unfashionable word, but it's a spiritual thing. The art making, you might make money from it, but art making is a kind of spiritual pursuit because it's about wholeness, it's about kind of self-integrity, but it's also about communicating.
Can I just ask you a question that's fascinated me about outsider art? I mean, you collect outsider art. What percentage of outsider art that you would collect would be by unknown artists?
Well, a lot. It's just I do things that I write about and they're not unknown anymore. So I'm part of the problem. But it's. I mean, when I see art that I love and when I see art that kind of speaks to me, it's precisely on those kind of those sort of things. It's about whether it's speaking to me. It's about whether it has an impact aesthetically, but also in terms of the feeling, the content, all that kind of stuff. And it's not really at all important to me whether the artist is known or the artist is sort of.
I was thinking more of sort of itinerant.
So they're like collecting a host site and then one day that this artwork will be of value.
No, not at all. It's about. Well, no, I mean, in monetary terms, my expectation is that very little, if any, of the work that I actually own will ever be worth monetary terms much more, or as much as I pay for it. That's not the impulse for that kind of stuff. But that's I think the issues for me really are much more about how.
Sorry, could you speak up a little tiny bit? Because at the back we can't hear.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sorry.
And it's worth listening.
Is that that artists work out of different kind of contexts. So for me, any artist who is working out of a defined social and kind of cultural context, where the artist is very much a part, functioning part of that culture, then that artist would never be an outsider artist. They might be within a cultural context which has a different kind of relationship of power to some kind of dominant cultural context, but that doesn't turn them into outsiders. Within their context, they're very much part of something and an integral part of something. For me, if I was going to be pushed to sort of define outsider art, an outsider artist, it's those people who, living within sets of context, kind of don't belong, for want of a better word, in those contexts. They're idiosyncratic, they're eccentric, they're different to the cultural context that they're working in. I mean, the George Melly, who's a sort of British jazz singer, raconteur, writing about British naive art, described those people as a tribe of one. This whole notion that you have people often who have a whole worldview, a whole kind of cosmogony, a whole kind of way of thinking about the universe and their life and all the rest of it, and they're kind of physically within a particular context, but it's really different and really kind of if you like outside that context that they're living in. So for me, it's not about saying a particular set of people are outsiders. It's about saying a particular person might be an outsider artist in the sense that their kind of whole construct of what it is to be an artist and what it is to be in the universe is kind of different to everybody else around them, and in a way that is not just a sort of a kind of an artistic gambit, but is actually lived and sort of breathed. So it's in that sense there aren't that many outsider artists. So it's almost like the sort of the furthest kind of extreme point of what you were describing in terms of every artist
He's an
being
outsider.
outsider.
Yeah, not an outsider, but yes, I agree.
So is Billy Ben an outsider artist from the perspective of Indigenous art from his area, or from the perspective of Western art, which he seems to have adopted some of the conventions of, or is he an outsider of both, or is he not an outsider artist?
Well, I don't think he's an outsider artist. I suppose we could
Downstairs.
Would be a quick response. In the sense that he is demonstrably engaged with a number of recognised traditions. His work is fantastic. I love it. He's a great expressionist with a small e. I mean, I think for me, Billy Ben is a really interesting and powerful exponent of a kind of expressionism where you're defining expressionism as a sort of a tendency, a way of picturing the world, as opposed to something that happened in Germany in 1910 or something that happened in America in 1940. But that sense of his kind of putative outsiderness is his learning disability. Now, in contemporary Australia, there's absolutely no excuse, I don't think, to sort of pigeonhole and box a person with a learning disability into a sense of being an outsider with a capital O.